The computer screen glowed. Words swam before Ricardo's eyes. Name, address, phone number, easy enough. Then came the box that always made his stomach clench. Name preferred.
He stared at the blinking cursor. Ricardo or Rick? The question echoed in his mind. He wanted this job, a real job, one that could start his career. But did getting his foot in the door mean erasing a part of himself? He sighed. The struggle felt as old as time. Ricardo.
His abuela's voice, warm and thick as caramel, wrapped around him. He was a boy again, playing in her kitchen, the scent of spices clinging to the air.
Your name, she'd say. It's who you are. It's your history.
Her fingers, gnarled by time, would trace the letters of his name on his palm.
Don't you ever forget that.
He had always felt her words like a talisman, a shield against the world. But the world felt bigger now, more intimidating. Could he honor his abuela and still succeed in a world that didn't understand? The phone felt heavy in his hand. He hesitated, then dialed. Each ring seemed to echo his doubts, but he knew he had to make this call. It was a step he needed to take, a conversation he had been avoiding for too long. His cousin, Lynette, always had a way of making him feel braver. Her voice was a beacon of hope, a reminder that he wasn't alone in his struggles.
"It's my name," he confessed, his voice tight with frustration, the words spilling out before he could stop them. "It feels like a weight sometimes, a burden I can't seem to shake off, no matter how hard I try."
Lynette listened patiently, her silence encouraging him to continue. She knew this was important. When she spoke, her voice was gentle but firm. She had a way of making even the hardest truths easier to bear.
Remember Abuela's words, she said, her tone filled with the wisdom of generations. Your name is your strength. It's your story. It carries the legacy of our family, the struggles and triumphs of those who came before us.
Her words sparked a flicker of defiance in him. He felt a surge of pride, a connection to his roots that he had almost forgotten.
"You're right," he said, his voice gaining strength, the doubt in his heart beginning to fade. "I shouldn't have to shrink myself to fit in. My name is a part of who I am, and I should embrace it."
Lynette's laughter warmed him, a sound that felt like home. It was a reminder that he had support no matter what.
That's the spirit, she exclaimed, her enthusiasm infectious. Now go out there and show them who Ricardo is. Show them the strength and pride that comes with your name. You have nothing to fear.
The office was sleek and modern. Ricardo took a deep breath, reminding himself of Lynette's words. He was qualified, he was capable, and he was proud.
Ricardo, she said, her pronunciation perfect, it's a pleasure to meet you.
He met her gaze, his own smile genuine and bright. He answered her questions with confidence, sharing his experiences, his aspirations. For the first time, the weight of his name felt different. It wasn't a burden, but a badge of honor. He was Ricardo, and he had a story to tell. Days later, the email arrived. Ricardo had been waiting anxiously, checking his inbox multiple times a day, hoping for the news that could change his life. Each passing day had felt like an eternity, filled with a mix of hope and doubt. He held his breath as he clicked it open. His heart pounded in his chest, and his hands trembled slightly. This was the moment he had been working towards for years, the culmination of countless hours of hard work and dedication.
Dear Ricardo, it began, offering him the position. The words seemed to leap off the screen, and he read them over and over to make sure he wasn't dreaming. It was real. He had done it.
Relief washed over him, followed by a surge of pride. All the sacrifices, the late nights, and the moments of self-doubt had led to this. He had proven to himself and to everyone who believed in him that he was capable. He had stayed true to himself, and it had made all the difference. In a world that often pressures people to conform, Ricardo had remained steadfast in his values and beliefs. He imagined his abuela, her eyes twinkling with pride. She had always been his biggest supporter, encouraging him to chase his dreams no matter how big they seemed. He could almost hear her voice filled with love and wisdom, guiding him even now.
That's my Ricardo. Her words echoed in his mind, a testament to her unwavering faith in him.
Her words, once a whisper from the past, now resonated within him, a symphony of strength and resilience. They reminded him of the journey he had undertaken and the obstacles he had overcome. He knew that his journey was far from over. There were still many challenges ahead, but he felt ready to face them with renewed determination and confidence. But in that moment, he felt an overwhelming sense of peace. He was enough. He had achieved something remarkable, and he knew that he had the strength to achieve even more in the future. Ricardo understood. He had always known, deep down, that his journey was not just his own. It was a path that many had walked before him, and many more would walk after him. His name, his identity, it wasn't just about him. It was a symbol, a representation of countless stories, struggles and triumphs. It was about all the little Ricardos and Marias and Joses who deserved to see themselves reflected in the world. They needed to know that their dreams were valid, their voices important. He had a responsibility now, not just to succeed, but to pave the way for others, to be a mentor, a guide, a beacon of hope for those who would follow in his footsteps, to show them that they didn't have to choose between their heritage and their dreams, that their cultural roots were not a hindrance, but a source of strength and inspiration, that they could be both fully themselves and wildly successful. They could embrace their traditions while forging new paths, blending the old with the new in a harmonious dance.
He raised his chin, a newfound confidence in his stride. Each step he took was filled with purpose, each movement a testament to his resolve. It was time to rewrite the narrative, one authentic step at a time, to challenge the status quo and redefine what success looked like for people like him.
The world was ready for them, all of them, ready to embrace their diversity, their unique perspectives, and their boundless potential. And Ricardo, with his heart full of hope and his name a beacon of pride, was ready to lead the way. He knew that the journey ahead would be challenging, but he was prepared to face it head-on, with courage and determination.